welcome to another episode of Design in Progress. This is a very special episode. These are our first guest designers that we have. It's a group of guys that I met out at Gen Con. We're going to be showcasing their game today, Territory Tribes at War, and we'll play through it. They'll give us a little info on how it works. We'll give it a play, and then just keep talking about it. Do some interview stuff afterwards, and that'll be Bob's your uncle. So joining us today, we do have the whole. Is this the whole design team? Is it just the three of you guys, or is there more?
This is the whole design team.
Okay, we've got Evan Morris.
Howdy.
We've got Nate.
Hey.
And Pierre Pratt.
Hello.
And I'm, of course, your host and gamer, also known as Jake. So why don't you guys walk us through just the general, ABC of how we're going to play this game so people can understand what the heck is going on. I did play this at Gen Con once and have promptly forgotten how to do almost anything.
Yeah, so this is Evan, and I'll take a stab at basically explaining the basics of the game. And I really want to start out with, so the object of the game will be the first player to gain 15 points. And so what Territory Tribes at War is it's a strategic card game that emphasizes movement and placement of your cards. And so now, I think the most appropriate way to really go through explaining how the game works is to go through those 4 different card types, and then after explaining the card types, going through the actual phases of the game itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, Nate and Pierre, feel free to jump in if there's anything you want to add. But what I'll do actually here is I'll go through the different card types, and I'll actually go through the battleground, which is these 2 mats you see placed side by side, or back to back,
head to
one
head.
another, head to head. So there's going to be 4 card types. So the namesake of the game, we have these, which are they're territory cards. I'll blow this up.
Nice and
And
big.
so territory cards are basically, you'll see on this mat, sort of the front line of the mat is, you'll see a castle icon, and at the top left of the card, you'll also see a castle icon. So the card types will basically help you understand where you place it on the map, and this is basically done in the top left corner of the card frame, which indicates the icon where it would go. So this card would go in any one of these territory spots. And so territories ultimately are going to be sort of the foundation. They house your champion cards, and it's going to be really one important thing I want to point out here with this territory card is at the bottom center of the territory card, there is something called its food supply. So you'll see this drumstick, bottom of the territory card, followed by 3 numbers, and this represents how much food this territory produces at a constant rate based on the number of turns it's in play.
Right.
So this territory calls up outposts. If it's been in play for 1 turn, it will produce 2 food. You see it going from left to right. 2 turns, it'll produce 3 food. 3 or more turns, it'll constantly produce 5 food. And why that's important is because it's going to help explain it's one of the main linear resources for this game, and it'll sort of dovetail into explaining champion cards. So champions are essentially, they're going to be the most common cards in your deck. They occupy territories, and they do combat with other champions, territories, and a card type relic that I'll get to in a second. And by destroying different territories, champions, and relics, you gain points. So circling back to that 15 points is the number of points you need to win. You'll also see on the territory card a star icon and a number next to it. Similar to the champion card, you'll see a star icon and a number next to it.
Mm-hmm.
This represents how many points the card is worth when it's destroyed, right? So
Right.
if you destroy this territory here, you'll gain 4 points. And if you destroy this Risen Horror, you'll gain 1 point. So you'll be a third of your way there to winning the game. So now champions actually have the largest zone on the playmat, as you'll see here. And obviously, again, icon designates where these cards are placed. Now, how champions interact with territories is champions at the bottom of the card frame, you'll see the food icon as well. And that represents how much food it's occupying from a territory. So in this case, this will always be occupying 2 food from a territory. So with this calls outpost, the first turn this calls outpost would be in play. This champion would occupy all its food supply. The second turn, it would produce 3, so there'd be 1 remaining food supply. And the third turn, there'd be an additional 3 remaining food supply. And so that's basically how they interact. And typically, champions scale based on their food supply. So they're worth more points, more powerful, and they
Are
tend
also
to have
hungrier.
more hit points and attack.
Big guy take more food.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So that's champion cards. So then what I'm going to go to next is going to be relics. Blow this up. So relic cards they're very specific to this game and useful in that, one, there's no requirement to playing relics other than you can only have 1 relic in each relic zone, similar to territories. And relics either have static or active effects that help you during gameplay, or they hinder your opponent. So if you look at this relic card, it's actually rather simple. It's just only got 1 thing at the bottom. That's the number of points it's worth when it's destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I get into the next card type, I want to explain. So these are the 3 card types you'll see on the battlegrounds, right? You'll see you can have territories, relics, champions.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things. You can only have 3 champions occupy territory at any given time. And champions their aggregate food supply can never exceed that of the territories, right? So you can't have 6 food worth of champion on a territory only producing 5.
Right.
Um,
Right. I mean, if I remember correctly, there's kind of a shuffle period where you can move stuff around, and it's just when you're done moving stuff around, then they need to eat.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I'll touch upon that in the phases of the game. So with relics, all of these cards actually have at the very top of the card. I'll explain. They have you'll see hit points, this heart symbol, and that's how much damage they can take before being destroyed. And then you'll see a shield at the top right of the card, shield icon, which represents it's basically damage reduction. How much damage it reduces, with the caveat that during combat, anytime you take damage, it's always going to be 1, even if your armor would reduce it. So let's say a champion's attacking for 2, but you have 2 armor, you'd still take 1 damage.
Reduces it to a minimum of 1.
And these are all the cards. Yes. Yep. And these are all the cards that are going to basically yield points. So these are going to be the card types. They're all going to have star icons. So this is basically how you're going to 1, populate the battlegrounds, and 2, score points. So the last card type is really going to touch into the third linear resource, which is spell power and spells. So go here for a second. Spells are going to be unique from the other card types in that if you look at the bottom of a spell card, you'll see that it actually has a icon that similar to the spell power icon on the battlegrounds. And what this represents is how much spell power it takes to cast a spell. So I guess the natural question is, how do you gain spell power? So every turn, each player at the beginning of their turn gains 2 spell power. There is one exception. If you play first, you don't gain 2 spell power. If you're on the first turn, if you play first, you don't gain 2 spell power. And that's ultimately a way to balance the fact that you're always going to be sort of one turn ahead for your territory in terms of producing food. And
that would make too big of an impact if we didn't do that. So
yeah.
No, that's fair.
So,
Yeah. It's like in Magic where you don't get to draw on your first turn, or
And you don't draw as well in
Right.
this game.
Yeah, and you don't. So you get double penalized, but it is it's
no spell power, and you don't draw on your first turn if you go first.
So there's with spells, right? So the number of eye icons represents how much spell power it takes to cast a spell. In this case, this one would take 3 because we see 3 eye icons. Most spells are gonna either take 1 or 2, but we can
oh my gosh, I'm so sleepy today. I'm so sorry.
it's
been a long day.
So if we hear snoring, we know it's happened.
Yes. If I just hear a slam into a keyboard, it's just my head. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So this is an example of a spell that would take 1 spell power. So then there's two other spell types. So these are called pure spells, and they have you basically cast them during an action phase. They have a instantaneous effect and then are discarded. But there are 2 other spell types, which are hidden spells. These will act like trap cards. And there's spell lore. So the hidden spells will actually say hidden spell on them. And the way these work is, unlike the other spell types, you'll actually the way you cast this is you'd place it underneath the territory.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it doesn't cost any spell power, but once there's an effect that your opponent does, it would trigger a given hidden spell. You say, aha, here's my trap card. You flip it,
and then you have to
pay the requisite spell power.
Right.
Last but not least, we have spell lores, and the way spell lores work are these are sort of permanent spells. They signify on the card what they attach to, either champion of yours, your opponent's, or a territory of yours or your opponent's, and they have a static effect until either the champion or territory is destroyed or the spell lore is destroyed. And you can see all of these, you can see the spell cost. So again, spells will be designated by the flame icon in the top left of the card. So those are the different card types. Now I'll actually get into the phases of the game. Let me just clean this up a little bit. And okay. So I will use a sample deck for this. Second. So there's really one thing I should actually mention too is in this game you're going to have 2 decks. And you can see this, right? You'll see here there's a main deck and then a territory deck. So in this tabletop simulator mod, you'll see there's a spot for both decks. And the reason this is you're basically going to be choosing your territories, and for your main deck, you're going to be drawing from the top of your main deck. So your main deck is going to consist of 60 cards, and your territory deck is going to consist of a minimum of 5 cards. And so we'll go through the phases of the game, and then I'll talk about the actual beginning of the game itself. So there's really 5 phases, 4 that are important. The first one we kind of talked about, which is the beginning phase here, right? So beginning of your turn, I'll just go here, you would draw a card, and you would gain 2 spell power.
Is each of these 2?
So yeah, these are 2, and then we've got 1s here too.
Perfect.
But the actual game itself, it's dual phase, so you have 1 and 2. So the other thing too in the beginning of your turn is when you have a territory in play, move it up based on the number of turns that it's been in play. So in this case, there's you'll see these 2 lines in the battlegrounds, and that represents how many turns it's been in play. So beginning of the turn, if it's your second turn, this would move up here, representing it's been in play for 2 turns, and then 3 or more. And once a territory has been in play for, let's say, 3 turns, basically when it reaches its maximum food supply, and you'll see down here there's a turn counter. It represents when you'll get to choose your next territory from your territory deck. So when my third turn, if I play first, I'll play it on my left territory zone. If you play second, you play it on your right territory zone. And the way this would work is this would go in turn 3, then turn 4, then turn 5, and then at the beginning of turn 5, you get a territory here, and then the same process repeats. So that's what happens at the beginning of your turn. Now, in terms of the next is going to be your first action phase. So this is when you would play champions, cast spells, or move champions. So in terms of playing champions, when you first play a champion, it's entering the realm for the first time, and it's fatigued. And so in this case, you just denote it, or these are sort of guides. So like it's easy to keep track of things when obviously you can just place it here on the guide, and this sort of represents, hey, this can attack or move the turn it was
kind of
first
like
played.
pull
But
it
then
back,
after that,
and then it's in the middle, and then if
Yeah.
it's attacking, it can move forward a little.
yes, exactly. And then playing champions, obviously there's the food requirement, casting spells. There's the amount of spell power you have, and then with playing relics, the only requirement is there's 2 relic zones you can play. And then you can also move champions, and this is what I want to point out here on the champion card. So, champion actually has a movement icon. It's going to be like an Achilles with sort of like the Achilles winged foot.
Hermes.
That represents how Hermes.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's
They're both feet guy.
basically
It's understandable.
yeah. No, I'm getting my
you know that the Greek dude with the foot and the thing.
But yeah, this represents how many adjacent moves a champion can make in a turn, right? So going back to what we touched on earlier, it says 1 move here. That's the only move it can make during a turn. If this had 2 movement, it can move here. Then after combat, during your second action phase, it can move back.
I didn't realize that when
The
we played
caveat
last
to
time.
this-
I thought there was just like one movement phase.
No. So there's so in the first action phase there's a second action phase after combat, which is the exact same as the
That's
first
right.
action phase.
That's right, yeah.
The thing maybe that most champions only have 1 movement, right?
Right.
So they effectively can only make 1 move per turn. But there are some champions that have 2 or more movement, and that actually interacts with relics and territories. So in terms of movement, as long as at the end of your action phase, the aggregate food supply for the territories is not exceeded by any of the champions, then they can make moves, right? So like
You can swap champions on your territory.
Yeah.
So just swap from the middle and the right.
Right.
Yep.
So there's kind of like a cleanup phase at the that at the end of your turn that all of the territories need to balance out, or kind of at the end of each phase?
Each
At
phase.
the end of the action phase, you check.
Got it. Okay, so it's the end of each action phase. You need to be square.
And that's just that's a very simplistic way of just saying like you can never have champions exceed
Right. You don't want to be going into combat and not have food.
Right.
Oh, that makes
One
sense.
thing I like to call this phase is kind of like the setup phase or the do everything but combat phase.
Right.
Because some people will lose track of like, okay, so what can I do on this? And basically it's if you've already drawn your card and gotten your spell power, now you can do everything but attack. So you're basically prepping.
Yeah, get it all set.
Right. So then there's the combat phase, and the combat phase, this is pretty straightforward. The way this works is
Evan's favorite phase.
yeah, my favorite phase. The At the bottom of a champion card, you'll basically see a large sword icon that's in red. That represents its attack power, or how much damage it presents. And so when you go to combat, a champion can attack. It basically, most champions can attack only across, or they can attack the relic zones that are adjacent to territories. And a champion, when it attacks, it has one attack, and it is basically presenting this damage. So in this case, this champion would be attacking across for either it'd be attacking the territory across here for 4, or either relic for 4 damage.
Right.
And so, as an attacker, I basically have to pick a territory, then I pick the champions that occupy it, and one at a time I perform their attacks. So it's not like I'm like attack all at once, but each attack is sort of dealt
It's like
in
that damage,
isolation.
that
So
damage, that damage. Yeah.
yes, and let's say you have a territory over here. So basically you have options, and your options are, you can either have the territory take the damage, or you can have a champion occupying that territory step up and defend the attack.
Hmm.
Um, and so the way this would work is basically the champion would end up taking the damage instead of the territory. And then the hit points on the cards represents how much damage they can take before being destroyed. Armor represents the damage reduction.
Right.
And so basically, yeah, that is how combat works. There is no like taking back damage if you're a defender. Basically, there's no reason not to attack if it's your combat phase and you're the attacker. And if you're defending, there's obviously a balancing game. Like, territories tend to have more armor and hit points than champions, but
Hmm.
if a territory is destroyed, all the champions that occupy it are destroyed as well. So you never want to find yourself in a position where you're just having your territory take all the beating and your champions are sort of left unscathed, because once the place they occupy is gone, then they have nowhere to occupy and they're destroyed and all their points are yielded. So
Hold on.
um,
We'll just hold 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry.
okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I think basically the only other thing I was gonna add to the combat phase is relics cannot be defended unless a champion has the keyword relic defender. So that's sort of your opportunity cost of playing relics. You can drop them and immediately have great effects, but they also tend to be easier to destroy, right? So
Yeah, they're very
yeah,
vulnerable and can cost you a lot of points.
That can also give you.
but they also can give you an early leg up, and yeah, they have great static and active effects. So
Right, a nice little boost.
the end of the combat phase, you can reset the champions,
Mhm.
and then after that we have a second action phase. So this is sort of like, as Pierre said, we have our setup phase, and then this is sort of like your post setup phase. If basically this is where typically, like, depending on what happened in combat, and if you still have spell powers, you can cast spells, you can make movements to prepare yourself for the attack that's going to come to you on your opponent's turn. And you can, again, play champions, sacrifice champions. That's one thing too, is you can sacrifice champions or relics. Let's say you have a champion that's got a lot of damage on it, or a relic that's got a lot of damage, and you know it's about to be destroyed. You want to put a fresh one there. You can sacrifice it. You do yield the points of that relic or champion to your opponent, but it obviously gives you the option to free up space. So there's definitely there's strategy behind the ability to be able to sacrifice those. And then
Right.
then after that, there's the end of the turn, and it's during the end of the turn. Typically there's an ability called poison, and you take damage. at the end of each turn or at the end of your turn,
The
or yeah,
the perennial problem of where do we put poison when doing this game that we're designing? When does poison
right,
damage
yeah,
happen?
right,
End of somebody's.
yeah. Yeah,
That
exactly.
cleanup
No,
phase
and
where
it's
poison happens.
I love them
yeah,
both.
and so
Oh, yeah,
the
it's
one thing
my
that's and
origins
then
mug.
yeah, oh nice. So one thing that's nice about this is yeah, at the end of it's the only way you typically interact with your opponent during their turn is through hidden spells and then through sort of assigning combat damage, or
Mhm.
if there's certain
Choosing to
effects or
block or
territories.
not, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and that's the game in a nutshell. So
A very a very large nutshell.
it is a very large nutshell. I'm not gonna pretend like um this is like a war with a 52
Right. So,
52
and
card deck.
just for the people watching, I know that we talked about this a little bit. There's how many? What, I'm sorry, I can't remember what you just called. What they're called? Factions?
Yes, tribal factions. Yeah, that's
Tribes.
right. So so I'll take a beat to discuss those. So there's really 5 tribes, right? So
Mhm.
um we've got the machine, and they're defensive, focused on Arcana.
Mhm.
They basically have a red. Let's go through machine, or a little easier to do in person because of this. But let me just grab through here.
Oh yeah, TTS is always
I'll
a
grab
pain
one
in the
from
butt.
yeah. So here I'll sort of grab each tribal faction here,
There we go.
And by
and we can
defensive
just
means that they have a tendency to come with armor, whereas most units in the game have 0 armor. There's some in other factions that'll have armor, but it's very few. You mostly see it on the machine units, and
Mhm.
machine units that may not have armor. There's usually some unit within the tribe that can give armor to other members of the tribe.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's their primary defensive feature, is the presence of armor.
Of them just
I'll
having
just
a
blow these up
bunch.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. We can
So
always go. Oop,
yep. So machine,
there we go.
and then yeah, these sort of you can see machine, or they're very armored, defensive based on Arcana, and there is the pack. This is basically these are orcs, goblins, trolls, uh, and in terms of a lore standpoint, they are actually trying to preserve. So again, this is takes place on a dying space giant. They're trying to preserve like the space giant sacred sites, their way of life.
Mhm.
They have no armor. None of the nothing in the pack tribe has armor, but they're a fast and aggressive tribe.
Mhm.
Um, then there's the Dasis. So if we go over here,
Mhm.
this is a tribe that is soulbound with the space giant. This is a very woodland, so you sort of see dark, ominous creatures. This is a tribe that primarily interacts with a lot of spells you have, and it synergizes with spells. Then
Mm.
there's the underlings. The underlings
My favorite.
are yeah. So it's a tribe that straddles between life and death.
Mm.
And they are there's a lot of recursion, and they're also defensive, but in a not necessarily based on armor, but based on abilities such as
Absorb.
absorb, or high hit points. And then um,
And their
lastly, there's
defense
the
is a little
mercenary.
different to manage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a little different to manage because, you can get absorbed, at a decent amount, say 4 points or something, which is typically going to be higher than most armor values you're going to see anywhere.
Mhm.
The absorb applies only once. So the next hit or the next instant of damage and the next instance after that, it's going to get through, and that absorb's no longer going to be relevant. They also have their access to healing, which is another form of defense.
Right.
But because you're not taking a lot of actions when it's not your turn, you kind of have to wait until it's your turn. So it has to survive for
Mhm.
you to get the benefits of healing. So it's a little different than, say, having an armor instance that's always available no matter what.
Well, I will say though that the absorb does replenish your next turn, so it does come back.
Right.
Right. Each turn it can absorb 3. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I think that's enough info for us to get started playing. Other than which I mean, I'm gleaning this from what we played at Gen Con. The typical is that each deck would only have one of these tribes in it, usually.
Y-
Correct.
yes.
Right.
Well, wait, I would say one,
Uh,
but also maybe a mix with mercenaries because their abilities go with anyone.
mercenaries being the red,
The white.
the white.
The white
White.
ones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is my brain. Ugh. So the white is kind of can be by itself, but can also mix with other people a little bit. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. It's coming back to me.
Yeah. They have a lot of effects that are. Yeah. Yeah. So Jacob, which tribe calls to you?
Well, last time I played the orc goblin people, which
Mhm.
anybody who's ever played Magic with me knows that's where my heart lies. But I'm thinking let's go with I want to try the spelled guys this time. That sounds fun.
Awesome.
I love me some
Okay.
flinging some spells. It's the other the downside of the orcs and goblins is they don't have quite as many spells as everybody else. So I think I got to play like one spell the entire game we played last time, and I was like, oh, I want to play spells. I want to blow something up.
Yeah, I guess the other thing that I should have mentioned that is during the action phase, which is so we do have these cards here that let you they're little reminders. Is you can use so spell burn if you are running out of cards in your hand. There's it's an unoptimal resource trade, but you can spend a spell power to draw a card. So that's sort of your yeah. I have no cards in my hand, but I'm full of spell power.
Right. And there was a max of 6 spell power, right? So after that you might as well if you don't have any,
It's unlimited.
it's unlimited. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so at Gen Con, yeah, that's one thing after Gen Con we talked and we decided that 99 of the 99% of the games that were played,
Mhm.
no one ever reached their max spell power, or it was
I definitely did, but I was that 1%. It was me.
yeah, so we decided it don't need to add that ceiling in.
Right. Yeah. No,
It
that
doesn't
makes
impact
sense.
the gameplay in any meaningful way. Yeah.
Right. Other than basically forcing people to be like, well, now you got to just start drawing cards. And you're like, I mean, okay, cool.
Right. Yeah.
I'll draw cards.
It's like
Cool.
I don't want to draw cards. You
Right.
can just destroy everything. Yeah. Awesome. So I actually have some. Well, I'll play the Underlings tribe.
And we have
So here the Daces, and I've got a pre-made deck, or I mean, you can look through it, or if you want to.
I'm gonna go ahead and trust that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna
But he didn't give
pull.
you a stacked deck that has no chance.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the great thing about having the shuffle feature. I'm gonna just put these passive abilities over here because I'm definitely gonna forget what all of these are.
Okay,
And
cool.
I'm
So
just gonna make it big for
let me-
people at home to read.
Yeah.
If you are confused by something, pause and read this now. We're gonna start playing.
Awesome.
All right, territories, and I'm also gonna make these decks just a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger.
Where's my deck?
Here it is. I gotcha. It's gonna. Here you go.
That is. There we go. All
And I
right.
guess I should clarify while we've got a chance here
Yeah, go for it.
that because some people definitely are going to want to hear this. is that if you don't want to play like one specific faction and you do want to mix factions, you can. There's enough variety in the cards, and there are enough cards with non-tribe specific terminology
Hmm.
where you can find lines or themes that aren't specific to a tribe,
Hmm.
but the amount of the system mastery to do it is higher. So if you're just starting, it's far easier to
Just pick a tribe and
play the pack.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, it is much easier to do it that way because they're designed for that. But
Hmm.
if you wanted to start branching out and you've played enough games there under your belt,
Hmm.
then there is room to build some cross faction
Right.
type of decks.
Right. And just as a little of a peek under the hood into the designer actual chat of this, if I remember correctly, the idea is that you would just basically be buying all of the cards. You're not buying booster packs or anything like that. It's just
Not a trading card game,
right.
and you buy it. You can. We did put out an option for like dual decks that are
Hmm.
like two pre-made decks, but you can just buy the game and it's got all the cards.
Right. But
And
and there's enough of the orc tribe that whatever there's I'm assuming more than 60 cards that would go in that deck, so you can adjust the deck to your liking. You can do
yeah,
some
absolutely.
tuning here, there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that all in so people understand. You're not just handing people a pre-made deck like what's the one that Richard Garfield designed where it's like this is the deck, you can't fuck with it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It's
remember
like,
those. Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. Alrighty. So I have to choose a territory and
Yeah. So
draw
we each
an
we each
absurd
play
amount
a
of cards.
territory. Yeah, we pick a territory, we put it in our center territory zone,
Ooh.
play it face down.
Ooh, fancy.
So I'm gonna choose this one.
Ooh, that sounds good. That also sounds good. Hmm. We're gonna go with this one. So I put this face down.
Yep.
Her.
Then we can roll to see who goes first. All right, I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 6.
All right.
Delightful. And how many cards do I draw again?
And
10.
yep.
10.
Hmm. So very, very many cards.
Yeah, you're spoiled for options.
Spoiled, spoiled, spoiled for options. Yep. Alrighty, so I start out by flipping this over.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we
And
got
there's no hand size limit, by the way.
no hand size limit. I love it. So these are all. Here's my dudes. So I assume forgo attack is don't attack, and then you get to do the thing.
Correct. Yeah. We try to make all the abilities very intuitive.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm organizing my guys into guys and then spells. So I get my 2 power.
So you because you play first, you don't.
Oh, yo, that's true. I do not. Never mind. Yeah.
And then same, and you wouldn't draw a card this turn either because you're playing first.
Right. Which I did not do. Ooh.
You always have the option to mulligan if you want. So if you,
Nah,
if
let's
you
just start this out. Throw this guy out, and he's tired. Sorry if anybody can hear a child screaming. I swear it's just my child trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
His brother is messing with him. Alrighty. So I believe that's my whole turn. Just put out one dude. I have no spells to cast.
All right.
I don't have to sacrifice move.
And that.
That's it.
Yeah, this is how a lot of beginning of the games will go. So I'm gonna gain 2 spell power since I'm playing second. I'm gonna draw a card. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this one food champion comes in fatigued. All right, then we're gonna say, hey, no combat. He's fatigued. Second action phase, I'm gonna pay 1 spell power to cast this for the realm, drawing me 3 cards.
Nice. I'm just gonna put a bunch of. Ooh.
Discard this. I'm gonna draw 3 cards. 1, 2.
That For the Realm is a good example of why a spell burn is not as efficient, right? So the cheapest spell is 1 spell power and it nets you 3 cards
Right.
versus burning a spell power to draw 1.
Yeah, it's a very card-rich game. I'm used to playing Magic the Gathering, where like you start with only 7 cards and you have to fight and scrap for every single card that you possibly can draw. And I feel like this game, you're just like, have the cards. You're like, yay!
Yeah.
I have them.
Well, and well, what's interesting too is like, so yeah, obviously with something like Magic, where it's card draw is like a very important resource. Here, it's the resources are different between spell power and basically champions occupying and food
Right,
supply.
and having the food supply. You're balancing different things rather than just your cards. Yeah. Alrighty, so this guy.
So yep, I'm gonna end my turn and go. It's your second turn.
Oh, you
And
also.
I don't know if you want. Yeah.
Did you also set a trap?
I also yes. Oh yeah, I actually played a hidden spell underneath.
Terrifying.
Don't walk into it.
All right, so this moves up. So now I have a total of 3. So I can play this. I have to start looking at some of my spells because I do get 2 spell. Give me a second. I have to read a bunch. Okay, that's me. Okay. Alrighty. That is good. I can do that. That could be very good, actually. Alright, I think I understand the cards. Alright, so we're going to do this. 1 plus 2 is oftentimes 3. And
Usually, that's what I'm doing.
That's what they tell me. And then I believe I can also do. So well, first let me do the deploy. I assume is when it enters. I have to search for a non. What in general would I be searching for? I can go through and read all 60 of these cards, but I'm gonna
maybe a relic, because you have a bunch of spells in your hand. You have some draw in your hand, so you have 1 relic in your hand, but you can always have 2 in the out in play. Yeah, that's a good one there.
Yeah, let's grab this one. Yep, there it is. So I can play this right now, right? Because relics don't cost anything. I can do this. I'm also going to play this and give this swiftness. And I think I'm actually going to... So let's do... Because we do these individually, correct?
Right, and before you do, because you cast that spell, your territory triggers an ability.
Right. That is true. I forgot that. That's why I totally had this. That was my plan the whole time. It's just 1 damage to an opponent's champion, not poison.
It should be poisoning, and that's the wrong card.
Sacred Grove should be
poison. I
poison.
think you uploaded the cards, right?
It's just deal 1 damage to an opponent's champion.
It's what's in print is a little different than.
Okay, I will trust you that it's poison. I'll take it. So does it do the 1 damage immediately and also put a poison counter on it? Is that what the new text is?
Yes.
Scary. Terrifying. Alrighty. So I think then I'm going to attack with Alana's Sage.
Okay, so you're attacking for 4, and you have Cleave 2.
Cleave 2, which bypasses shields, right?
Correct. Okay, so that gives me a decision. I'm going to I'm gonna take 4 on this on my territory. Because 4 would destroy my champion. I'll take 4 on the territory.
Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Then this
Yeah,
you can attack with your
I'm
move.
wondering whether it's worth it for me to forego this attack to trigger this and also get to draw some more cards.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
So I think I'm just gonna forego this attack.
Mm-hmm.
Lets me draw 2
Okay.
cards, and then is it discard any card?
Yep.
Okay. But you gain up. I am gonna get rid of not that one. I think I'm going to just get rid of this one. Actually, you get to see. Yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. And that ends my turn other than me dealing the poison damage.
Yep. So you actually, because you have this, right? So you drew 2 cards, you deal 2 damage.
So it's not for each instance, it's for each card.
Yeah, but we're gonna rework that. I think it's the only card we're gonna rework, but yes. That's how it currently is, yep.
Currently, yes, that is how it works. It may or may not be broken. We'll find out today.
That came up.
Yeah, underlings decks like that.
Right.
I'll discard most of my hand, deal a whole bunch of damage. Half of the cards that I discarded have returns, so...
Right. Maybe the first time you draw a card a turn or something like that. Could always. I love adding in the first time. It covers a world of sins. Alrighty, that's my whole turn. So that poison damage blow this dude up then? Because there was 2 from this, 1 from that, and then the poison
is
damage.
at the end.
But it'll be
at the end of your turn. That makes sense. Yep.
take effect of my. Yeah.
And
okay, cool. So
I did use both of my spell power. What do you want, dog?
Draw a card. Gain 2 spell power, and what are we going to do? We are going to play this champion. Champion here.
My dog thinks that he's joining in.
Oh.
Sorry, just texting my wife. He does this sometimes when he needs to go out, and it's of course as soon as I start like streaming usually, or the middle of a stream, and he's just like,
right, yeah, it's like no, I have a...
All right, so you're playing this Risen Horror.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play this champion, and I'm going to go to my combat phase, and I'm going to attack for 4. I'm actually going to attack your relic for 4.
Okay, so I can do nothing about that, and it just takes 2 damage, basically. So it absorbs 2 and then takes 2. Or not absorbs, sorry.
Right.
Shields.
Yeah.
Absorb was on my brain because I just read the Risen Horrors text.
Yeah. It reduces 2 damage. Yep. So then what I'll do is I'm actually going to discard. So I'll end my combat phase, and during my second action phase, I will discard card to give my Risen Horror absorb 3. At the beginning of my next turn.
Okay.
Go boop, boop. So I'm gonna give absorb 3, and I'm going to
absorb tokens.
Cast it.
Hey Evan, promote me.
I gotta say, I
Okay.
do like the art for the Risen Horror. It's turning out to be one of my favorites.
Yeah, the art that you guys have on these are just so good. Just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do anything else. So I'm gonna end my turn. These relentless zombies have 4 health. The poison will destroy them, so you will gain a point. And we've got these have D20s normally, but the beauty of Tabletop Simulator is you can
Just have a little counter here.
use whatever.
Boop.
Exactly. The counter is not included in the game.
Yes, the tabletop simulator digital counter is not included in the game.
Right.
Something is lost in that transition from digital to reality.
Right.
Right. Okay, that ends my second turn. So I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, so I get my 2 spell power. I get to draw a card. This moves up to its full, whatchamacallit. And then I also get to put on another one, right?
Yes.
Let me...
Because you're at 3, yep. You get to choose. And then you get to do it, it's at your left territory zone.
Okay. This is interesting.
This must be strange for you, Evan, not playing the pack.
Yeah. No, I like fast and aggressive.
You took a page out of my book. It's just...
All right, we're going to go with this one here. So that has me with 2. So I should be able to... Now, just let me know if I'm breaking any egregiously breaking any rules.
Oh, yep. Everything looks good.
This goes here, so 3 and 2 is oftentimes 5. We're good with that. Then... I feel like I want to wait for that one. I think we're going to go with... I think maybe I save up my spell power for now. So, wait a second. I have this, and it can't be absorbed. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, I just realized that this becomes deal 3 damage.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna deal 3 damage to that, and also draw 3 cards. Oh my god. Okay. Can I do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. I'm doing that. I do want to just confirm. So this guy basically can't attack right now because he has nothing to attack.
Correct, yes.
Okay. That's fine. For each pure spell. So pure spells are the purple ones, right?
Yes.
All right,
Yep.
I'm just going to make sure that I have 2 piles. My
Now,
pure...
Evan, he should still be able to forgo his attack with that guy to get the effect, though,
Correct,
right?
yes. Yeah.
I can get the effect,
There's no
I just don't...
eligible.
So would the to an opponent? So that would that trigger the monuments then?
Yes, it would. Yep.
I'm sorry, Evan.
Great.
Ouch.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to move to attack.
Okay.
I am going to attack with my sage.
Okay. So my Risen Whore will absorb 3 of it and
Take 1.
take 1. Yep.
And then feel feel a little bit bad about this. I have to admit. I am going to draw 2 cards and deal four damage to
4
that
damage.
and kill it.
Yeah, so you will destroy this and gain 2 points.
Noise. 1, 2, and the
Or
cards I
sorry,
drew.
1 point. It's only worth 1 point. Yeah.
Okay. Oop. Then I have to discard a card. Mmm. Like that. Really like that. Oh, I just don't know what is, this one seems weird to me, so I'm just going to throw it away. I don't know how this works, so I'm just going to ignore it. That should end my turn.
Alright. I'm going to search for a territory. We will grab this one. Here. Gain 2 spell power and draw a card.
Relic Defender. Ooh. Fancy.
Okay. I'm going to
Uh-oh, a relic.
it's the spell, which is this one right here. Discard 2 cards. Search your deck for 2 champions, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. I'm going to pay 1 spell power.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to discard 2 cards. Discard this relic.
Okay.
And I'm going to discard this relic. No. Discard this.
I love the Rakshasa's gravestone. That's the relic I was referencing before. I was mistaken. This is what the underlings love, where you chuck your hand and get it
Oh,
all
yeah.
back, but it's all benefit
Right.
for you.
Right. You chuck your whole hand, and then you have a one dude who is plus like 6. Yeah.
Yes.
This is fine.
Because
I don't know.
to the GM.
I don't know. I feel like Illa's Monument is doing okay.
Yeah. Relics can be pretty strong.
I'll say reveal this card
Hmm.
and
Whoosh. Is this one of the big dudes, or do they have an actual
yeah, this is one of the big dudes.
byline?
And I will end up playing this one here. All right. But before I do, let me do this. Anytime you discard a card, yeah, won't matter for. This won't matter now because I discarded 2 cards, but this will give champions +1 attack power. I'll play this champion here and this champion here. And I want, you know what? I want this to stop drawing cards, so I'm going to pay 1 spell power to attach this your champion.
Okay. This costs 1
And
for each point the champion is worth over.
Your mage's apprentice is now a commoner.
Well,
yeah, now you stop foregoing that attack.
Okay. I'm all right with that. he murdered a bunch of zombies.
You did, yeah.
Value has been gained.
So I don't have anything that can attack. So I will end my turn.
Okay. So I get 2 of these. This moves up. I'm gonna organize this a little better. So that's now 3. So if I have something with 2, that would be good. Can't quite do that guy yet. Let's go with this dude. So I'm gonna play this dude. Her. Gets me up to 3. And then I'm going to do the absurd thing of drawing 5 cards,
All right.
which deals 10 damage as I choose, basically.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
So I'm gonna defer to to Nate and Pierre here. Is it better for me to basically bombard this and get it like right to the brink of death, or is it better for me to split it between these two guys and they both die?
That's tough. I'm a sucker for getting the points right away.
Mm-hmm.
The zombie does come back. The demon will absorb 2, so he'll still have 4 or
Nope.
3 hit points left.
No absorption.
Oh, no absorb. Oh, okay. Then he'll have 1 hit point left. So I mean, it's a pretty good call.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be the better call, is just bringing this dude down to 1, because then
Yeah.
I don't want to answer this question because the home team is at stake here.
Okay.
Evan.
I am going to deal 10 damage to your Dream Eater demons.
Okay.
And then I actually have to draw. Oh, yep. Go ahead.
I'm gonna activate this in response too. After you cast your first pure spell on your turn, I copy it and pay 0 spell power. I have to pay to cast this spell, so I am also going to draw 10 cards, as you do.
Well, not 10 cards, just 5.
Right, 5 cards.
You did 10 damage. That's where the 10 came from.
10 cards are going to be drawn in total.
There we go.
Between the two of us.
Okay.
See, I was hoping for like something that negated the spell or protected the champion.
Interesting. Okay, and then I think just to continue to pile on, I think I'm gonna do this. So this guy gets +2. So this guy is gonna now attack for 6.
For 6? Okay.
Wait, hold on. Actually, I'm so sorry. I just have to. I forgot that I have spellcast on this.
Yep. So you're gonna deal 1.
So I cast 2 spells there. So that I'm assuming, is that only in this row?
It's once per turn. So yep. Okay.
So
who do you want to do the damage to?
I'm gonna kill your demons.
So
but
it
they
does
have absorb
too. This doesn't stop absorb. Yeah.
Right. That doesn't stop absorb. But it would it still put the poison counter on, or no?
It would still put the poison counter on. Yes. Yep.
So let's actually do that, just so even if you decide for some reason not to defend from the massive amount of damage that's coming in, it'll still die. Just as a little.
Yeah.
As
it's
okay, as a
so
treat.
You're attacking for 6.
So now I'm attacking for 6.
All right, so I'll absorb 1 and take 5. Okay, and then I have 4 left over. So actually, it's a better way to do this. Yeah, 4 left over. So this will take 4. You'll gain 4 points.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this dude bro dies, or you just.
He dies. Yeah, he's
okay.
gone. He's gone.
Oh, that hurts me in the feels.
And then I'm also going to attack your Martyr's Tomb again, with my.
You'll destroy it, and you'll gain 5 points.
How many? 5?
5. Yeah, 5
Nice.
points.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. And then I'll attack with this dude, bro, who just a little old 3 attack coming in.
Okay. And you're attacking across, I assume?
Yeah. This is the one where they have Relic Defender anyway, so
Relic Defender and they get armor, yeah.
right. So I might as well just attack the
Okay.
territory.
So we're attacking for 3, so I'll take 1 on the territory.
Because it has 2 shields, so you just take the nug. All right, great. These guys all fall back. Making sure I don't have any other endgamey things. We're good.
Cool. All right, I will go to my 4th turn. I'm going to draw a card. All right. Gain 2 spell power. Forget that. We will. Yeah. I'll play this relic here. I'm going to. I have to move this up. First action phase, I'm going to move this across, and so when I move, I deal 1 damage to an opponent's champion, and I get to absorb. So I'm going to deal 1 damage to your Spell Eater.
No.
This Relentless Zombies will move across too. So I'm going to discard a card. To return a card from my discard pile to my hand. I'm going to discard this Spell Sword. Get back, replenish the reserves. I will then spend 1 spell power casting replenish the reserves.
So this is up to 3 for this turn.
Yeah. So I'm going to discard 2 cards. So I'm going to say Za.
Zador.
And Huzzah. I'm going to search for 2 champions.
I'm scared.
Is this where he rallies? Evan plays the comeback kid.
I think is someone on my. All right. Okay. I'm gonna grab a champion. I think Nate, you're searching through my deck. I need to.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Only
Oh,
one.
sorry. I was just curious.
All right. I'm gonna grab this one.
Oh no.
And let's grab one more. And I'm going to grab this one. So yeah, these are the 2 I'm gonna grab.
Oh, really?
Aha.
So when
Right,
when sorry, let me just clarify. When this one came in, does it start all the way back at the back?
No, it starts at the so basically whenever a territory is destroyed, it's at the same food supply or territory line that the destroyed territory was.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you could think of it as the food supply is for this territory spot.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I'm actually going to deploy this one here. Actually no, I won't. I take that back. That's not a good one. Yeah, I will. I'll play this one here and say I'll destroy this spell lore right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to play this Boneyard Scavenger here. And I'm going to cast this Fulgor Impetus to give it swiftness and cleave 2.
Ooh, ouch.
Who'd you give the +3 to?
I'm going to give it to the Boneyard Scavenger.
So what does that make his
the 3's
total?
going to go to the Shadow Walker. Sorry, the 3's going to the Shadow Walker right now because
Okay.
this just came into play. So we're
Right,
going to do
right. So these are oh no, the other one. This one's up back here, and this one's back here.
Yeah, we're going to do cleave 2. But so he gets swiftness now.
Right,
though.
he got swiftness. That's right.
All right, and then we're going to do tabletop. Why do you grab all these tokens at once? Okay, so we're gonna give it cleave 2, and then we're gonna give the +3 attack. Well, actually, you know what? We'll give it to the zombies. We'll give the zombies some, give them some love.
Okay. I feel like as I was saying yesterday when I was playing with my friends, I was playing Root, and it's like I feel like Ralph. I'm in danger.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Then I'm gonna play Discovery to discard 2 cards to search for 2 non-champion cards. So I'm gonna discard this guy and this, and now because of the gravestone, we're gonna give this Boneyard Scavenger +2 attack power.
Oh boy!
Huzzah! All right, this is in my hand, and I'm gonna search. And this is my last spell power, so we're gonna search for.
Hey, can you
2
promote me
non-champion.
I'm gonna stick a little die on the scavenger to show his bonus power for you.
I don't want this. Hold on.
We got lots of little die over here. Whoa!
Is there a non-red one?
I assume that this just got dealt to every.
You can just change the color. You can just change the color on the.
Can you just promote me?
Yeah.
A bunch of cards just got dealt. I'm assuming that you didn't.
No, why did it do that? Oh.
That's tabletop being its good old self.
Mm-hmm. I put them all here.
Sorry, I don't know why. Okay.
No, you're good.
I don't know why I dealt it.
Tabletop Simulator is a finicky mistress.
Oh, okay. So, so Nate, have you done how many champions are? I'm gonna go to combat now.
It's 5, but did these zombies die this turn, or should they return back to your hand?
I'm choosing not to return them.
Okay, 5.
All right. So we're gonna start off by saying we're gonna go to combat, and we're gonna go. Hey, this Shadow Walker is going to attack your relic for 3 damage.
Oh! I zoomed through. So for 3 damage. That brings it from 2 to 5.
Sorry, this is 7. It's 7. I missed the mercenaries.
Oh, so you have 2 armor, so it only does an additional 1, so to be at 3, I think.
Oh my gosh. This 3. There we go. Yep, I forgot about the armor.
Yep. And then these zombies will attack it for 7, which should destroy it.
Yes, that now destroys it. So you get 2 points?
I get 2 points, yep. So in my combat phase, an underling champions I control gets absorbed 3. I'll give that to my Boneyard Scavenger.
Okay.
And it will attack. So it's attack. So there's 7 in my. So this is attacking for 7 plus 4 is 11 plus 2. So 13 with cleave 2. So I'll attack across for 13 with cleave 2.
Oh. I will block with my Sage.
Okay. So gain a point for that. Bing.
And that blocks 7 of the 13.
Mm-hmm.
So then 6 damage gets dealt to this.
Mm-hmm.
But then it shields 2 of it. So it's only 4.
No, it's cleave. So
it's cleave. That's
the cleave
right.
will just cut through. Yeah.
Forgot about cleave.
Excuse me. Okay. Then that's it for attacks. So I will end my turn.
Oof.
That was rough. So that goes up. I get a new territory. Probably should have played this one a little bit earlier. That's okay.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yep. Alrighty. So. Sorry, let me give myself my 2, this, and I think it might be time to do this. I'm gonna apply 2 poison counters to
No.
everybody here. Blop,
Yep.
blop, blop, blop.
That happens.
Do this to there, and that goes there. And I have
That was very effective.
It's super effective.
It's super effective. Yeah.
Trying to see what else I can do with my 1 power. I think my best thing is going to be. So how does visiting work?
So if basically you move across it, you visit it, right? So like, yeah, if you had a relic here and you were able to move a champion from your Sacred Grove to your Merchant's Row,
Or
then
other
that
way
visit
around.
effect.
And I can't move these relics. They're
Correct.
locked.
No, yeah.
Shucks. All right, well. There goes that plan. Sorry, I'm just thinking very hard. All right, well, I might as... No, that's not actually going to help me. Not right now. Okay, I think then I'm just going to play... this... Sorry, let me just think. I'm going to move this over here and play this. Wait, no, then I can play up to 4. Actually, I can play this dude here.
There we go.
So just to understand this, when I cast a spell, then my next spell will cost 1 less.
Correct. Yep. Okay. But since you only have 1 spell power, right? So that last phrase, the cost of the spell cannot be reduced to less than 1. Yeah.
Right.
So it's obviously great if you have a lot of.
Right. You have to build up a bunch, and then you can do some combo combo breaking. All right. I'm just trying to.
I think that's what we should call our traps or combo breakers.
Alrighty, so we're gonna start out.
Like a couple of speed.
Yeah, start out with my Thorns 2, Poison 2, bro.
Okay. So we're gonna say, hey, territory, how do you feel? No, actually, these relentless zombies, you're attacking for 4, right?
Yes.
These relentless zombies have 4 health, but they have absorb 1, so they'll take 3 damage.
Okay. And then another 2 poison, right?
Yeah, they're
very poisoned.
They're not feeling so hot.
Yeah, I mean they are zombies.
They're used to it.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna attack with the Spell Eater, which is going to be attacking for 8.
8. Okay. Yikes. Well, so my Boneyard Scavenger has absorbed 3 from the combat phase. He'll take 6. Sorry. You're attacking for 8, he'll take 5.
Okay. And then my poor little dude bro, who can no longer draw me cards, attacks for 3 over here.
Okay. This chonky monstrosity who is very chonky
Just
will say, "Hey, I
eats it up.
will take three of that damage."
Yep. And then in my post-combat phase, I will draw a card and deal
and you get to deal a damage.
Add damage to your giant snake bro.
Okay.
And then I actually get to draw the card.
Yep.
Let me just make sure I don't want to cast this. Nope, I'll cast that later. It's a secret for later. That's it. That's my turn.
Okay. My turn 5. I'm going to search. I'm going to gain 2 spell power. Draw a card. Search my territory deck for. What territory do I want? Let's do. This one right here. Okay. And we are going to go to my first action phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spend 1 spell power to cast this spell called Life Drain. Deal 2 damage to an opponent's champion. This damage ignores armor. You may also heal a champion for 3, and heal will help poison. So I'm gonna heal 2 to the Spell Eater.
Okay, and that. Okay, so he's at 3.
And then I'm gonna heal one of my own champions for 3, which will be the Snake. Boneyard Scavenger, which will remove the poison, because anytime you heal a champion for more than I'm healing it for 3, and it had poison 2.
Okay.
So that is my action phase. Is there anything else I want to do? I don't think. No, I do. What I'll do is I'll discard. I'll discard this draw spell and use my relic ability to return a card from my discard pile to my hand. I'm going to search to see what I can find.
Can you poison a territory, by the way?
You can't. No, only champions can be.
That'd be a really highly effective card.
Yeah, the game would go by even faster.
Do I want to return? I'll return this. I want to get another champion on here, so I'll return these. Okay. So I'm going to deploy this here. I'm going to move this, still my action phase, this here, and I'm going to deal one damage to your Spell Eater and give a champion I have absorb 1. So. Right. That's it for my action phase. So we're gonna go to combat.
The leader's been taking a beating. You don't like it.
Yeah.
My poor spell leader. He's so sad.
He's eating spells. These zombies will attack these are zombies will attack this monument for 4.
I just realized I forgot to actually put dudes here to defend this.
Put a champion down, right?
I totally just like spaced out that was even a thing. Sorry.
It's fine.
I was so focused on everything else.
This has a really good ability too during your combat phase. So actually, let's take a step back, and if you want to do that, right?
No. It's totally fine.
Okay. Because this actually, this champion, this Rootmonger, does a good job of actually negating a lot of what my strategy is, right? Because you can pick up 3 of my champions that grows the snake and say, hey, shuffle them back into your deck.
Right.
And then his snake gets smaller.
So my snake is going to attack
Okay.
across
For
11
11 again?
with
No,
no
it
nothing
was
else.
11 because it was gaining other things, wasn't it?
No, it's I think it's 7 in my I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 champions
Okay.
in my and then
Just a
so 11 across.
And
just a cool 11. So
didn't you discard 2?
I didn't. This was not from this turn. No, this was not from this turn.
I am going to block with my Komodo, so that should.
Okay.
So
it does poison me. Take 2 damage, and it does poison me.
Right. I assumed that that's what was going to happen, and then you get 1 point from it, I believe. Yep.
All right.
And you 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 damage to this, brings that to 10, and then this dies. No.
Oh.
So if you do that, you lose the champions.
You'll lose the spell eater. Yeah.
Oh, can I? Let me clarify. Can I block with both of them?
Yeah, you want to. You probably want to take damage on the spell eater first.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me take the damage on the spell eater first. So then that was 6 more damage. So he'll absorb another 3, or take another 3 of it. Then this dies, and then this was at 4. So
it'll be a 5.
Yeah, because it has 2 armor. I don't have any cleave or anything.
Right.
All right, so I did gain 2 from the spell eater. Okay. This these zombies, will attack your monument.
My monument. Okay.
Yeah.
For
4, so you have 2 armor, so 2, right?
Yep, 2.
And then this monstrosity will attack your monument.
Bringing it another 2, so bring it to 4 damage.
And this Shadow Walker will just attack across for 3.
All right, and I'll take the 3 to this dude.
Sure. So that's it for my combat. I have nothing to do in my second action phase, so I'm gonna reset these, and then at the end of my turn, you're going to gain a point because you're going to
very bad
kill the zombie.
Bad day, zombies.
And then this is going to take 2, and this will take 2, and it'll be your turn.
Didn't these? No, yeah, that was that guy. Okay.
Yeah, I moved him up over. Yeah.
All right, so I gain 2 spell power. And I'm just making sure that there's not a better thing than just doing this. Draw 5 cards again.
Oh, nice. All right, 5 cards and 5 damn me Joso.
So I think I'm gonna kill this.
That
worm.
makes sense. Yep. That's 3.
You still have 2 more or 2 more.
1, 2, 3. Well, that wins me the game.
But
so,
no.
Or
he's worth 2. He's worth 2.
Okay.
So you have.
So he only
2
more damage to apply. I'll do it to, and it ignores absorb. I was like, I'll do it to this dude.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, this moves up 1. I have to draw. Draw my regular card, and then draw 5 cards.
What damage ignored absorb?
Oh, you didn't draw it. So you forgot to draw at the beginning of your turn, basically.
Right. But that didn't do any damage because it's only from spells.
Right. But you also get to do a damage from your your Sacred Grove as well.
That's right. I do get to do a damage from my Sacred Grove that I keep forgetting. I'm going to do that to this dude also.
Okay. So this one can be absorbed, but it will poison him, right? Because this
Correct.
one, yeah, will poison him.
But the first instance should have put his damage at 2 because the 2 points ignored absorb. Should be at 2 damage with 1 poison.
But no, he's doing 1 from this the Sacred Grove, though.
Oh, I just meant from before when he drew.
Oh.
Can I place a guy and then move him?
Only if he has swiftness, right?
The Rootmonger could trigger a visit.
Yeah, your Rootmonger can move.
Oh, that's right. He can go. Okay. Where did that go?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. So I'm gonna do this. Draw another 3 cards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to discard 2, but I'm gonna do another 3 damage to this dude.
Okay. He's hanging on by a thread.
And then to make this easy, I'm just gonna draw another 4 cards and discard 2 cards.
Okay. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. So that will end the game.
Nice.
Which I also could have done again next turn.
God.
Nice, good game.
GG. Well done. That was
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. That was good. What a silly combo that is.
So, yeah. So there's a backstory behind it. It's the way we had written so this is. And like,
We originally had planned.
So the way we wrote it was meant so like this came up in Gen Con. So each time you draw a card because of a spell or ability, was basically like anytime you have a draw, like if you draw 5 cards, it's like you deal 1 damage, and then you draw a card from your champion. But I guess it wasn't technically worded that way. So we were just playing to like that wasn't the intent, right, of the card, but since we haven't, it's just a matter of like the nomenclature or how there's the intent of what we wanted it to do versus when people were arguing what it was actually written, and it's like, okay, we need to literally reword this so it's not
right. I mean, I would argue I'd have to think through like my years and years of playing Magic the Gathering and other card games and think like I would interpret each time you draw a card as like each time I play a card that says draw 4 cards, that's me drawing cards.
Yeah.
You could phrase it each time you draw like or whenever you draw any number of cards because of a blah 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 deal 1 damage. Would maybe be the best way.
It's gonna say like each time an ability draws you, like each time you draw a card because of an ability, comma like or
right.
That way you can still kind of Nova with it by having multiple card draw things, but you're not Noving off of one spell.
Exactly. I mean, I would argue that argumentative people will always say that if you have every time you draw a card, no matter what the prefixes are, they're going to say, well, I drew 4 cards, so I'd get to do 4 damage.
Right.
So I do think any number of cards is a great smoother over of sins of saying anytime you draw any number of cards, you get to deal 1 point.
Right.
But that was nice. I liked playing the spell guys.
Still
the what was that? Sorry, you broke out. Oh,
you're quiet, Ev.
No. I mean, like the spell.
I think your internet just stopped and then whipped back because we heard nothing, and then we heard a lot of things in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, your cell reception isn't so good over there.
Interesting. No. Yeah, I was gonna say no, but that was yeah, we
it's a good match.
Dasa stack, right? Like yeah,
but
that's how it's supposed to feel, right? Like you're supposed to
just keep drawing things and playing things and being super super annoying. It had a great feel to it though. Yeah. It felt different than other card games that were like spell based to me. You know, like a lot of times when you're playing like a spell-based faction or something, you're like just drawing spells and doing lots of damage based off of like, whoa, I play a fireball and it deals 18 damage to you, you know, all of that sort of thing. And this felt a lot more geared to doing nice little teeny tiny combos that kind of built up to a lot of different things. So it felt good. Yeah.
Cool.
It was very, very, very fun. I really like the Spell Eater. I want more Spell Eaters in this deck. It was great.
And I sort of had my symmetrical Boneyard Scavenger, right? So
Right.
Spell Eater, check your discard pile for spells, pure spells, and Scavenger, check my discard pile for champion. So yeah, it was fun. It's fun having those, like, have your sort of like hammer or glass cannon type champions where it's like Spell Eater only has 8 hit points for being worth, but you know, he hits really hard, and I have the same thing. So I like
You guys had both of
those
them.
play experiences.
Well, awesome. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let you guys plug website or your socials, any of that stuff. I will sign off, and then we'll do a little mini interview that we'll post also on YouTube. So, because I can't remember what the website is for your guys' game. It was in front of me somewhere, and it got lost in the cacophony of my desk.
It's territorycardgame.com.
Easy to remember.
Yep.
Great.
And all the socials are Territory Card Game.
Perfect. I
Don't
will.
forget our Kickstarter is still up and running.
The Kickstarter is up and running.
Yes.
Awesome.
If
So
you help support the game, go check that.
yes, I will make sure that the links to both of those are in the description below. So if anyone wants to go and check out the website, check out the Kickstarter, it's a lot of fun. It's quite silly to play in the best way possible. And other than that, check us out next time when I don't know what we'll be playing. I'll have to check the calendar. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and bye-bye.